18.
Yeah, I think
19.
it's a good sign. You know, he's prepared to go toe to toe with his opponent. He's not going to shirk the big shots. He's
This is BBC Two. Please stay with us. We are experiencing a few problems from the live coverage at the Crucible, but we will be back with snooker just as soon as we can.
Well, again, I'm very sorry. We seem to have lost our live feed from the Crucible in Sheffield. Apologies for our problems here on BBC Two. At the moment, we'll hopefully return to the World Snooker Championship as soon as we can. But in the meantime, let's explore Britain's wild places.
This is no ordinary story about a beautiful and faraway island tucked away in a remote part of our realm. The kind of ancient place kept safe and secret by the wild Atlantic Ocean. A sanctuary for beautiful seabirds, as you might expect. Well, you're in for a surprise. There are some creatures here that you probably wouldn't expect to find on a far-flung rocky shore. Sheep, and no ordinary sheep at that. They are one of the wildest of all sheep breeds and have lived on the island for thousands of years. They were old before the first Romans came to Britain and were ancient when the first Vikings came to the Orkneys. Stoic survivors from a bygone age. But that's not what makes them really special. 200 years ago, they were thrown out of their fields and banished to the beach. How on earth did they survive? North Ronaldsay is the most northerly of the Orkney Islands, which lie just off Scotland's north coast. Life for newborn lambs here starts out perfectly normally. On sunny spring days, the sheltered meadows are an unspoiled grassy paradise. Easy, lazy days with plenty of time to rest and play safely under the eyes of their devoted mothers. But a day will come when everything will change. They are in for a big shock. Although it might all look lovely for these little lambs now, they are no ordinary breed. And North Ronaldsay is no ordinary island. What makes North Ronaldsay so special is a rather curious old wall, which more or less completely encircles the island. It's curious, as it was built to keep the sheep out, rather than in. These mothers and new lambs won't stay in the green fields for long. Soon they too will be banished to the rocky shore, where they'll join the rest of the flock. Perhaps the most adaptable of their kind in the world. Their castaway lifestyle has had a remarkable dietary consequence. Instead of starving, they've taken to eating seaweed instead. And not only that, they've learned to cope with slippery neighbours you don't normally find on an average hillside. This is the reality of the little lamb's destiny. The newborn lambs and their mothers are allowed to spend spring and summer in the meadow. The grass helps the nursing mothers make milk. A charmed existence with beautiful, if noisy, neighbours. Colonies of Arctic terns who've flown here to breed from thousands of miles away. By the time the terns migrate south in the autumn, the lambs' lives will change forever. But for now, it's spring, and times are good. starlings are rearing families in the nooks and crannies of the old stone wall. And although Fulmar petrels use its shelter to breed too, they don't seem very interested in building nests. But they are keen on the wall's aerodynamics. The wall creates turbulence which they love to ride. For them, it's an aerial circuit track. Fulmars are the nearest we have to albatrosses. They are expert gliders who normally sail out across the sea, riding waves. But on North Ronaldsay, they get a chance to hone their flying skills round the wall. And every now and then, practice flights turn into races. The sheep get to race too, but not for fun. They are rounded up from the beach in special pens to be counted and checked out. Although they live pretty much wild and free, they are domestic animals after all. By now, you might be wondering why the sheep are kept shut out for most of their lives. Why was a wall built which forces them to live out on the beach? Back in 1830, the laird of the island decided that there was more money to be made from rearing cattle and bigger, fancier breeds of sheep. The wall was built and the introduced animals were given the grass, while the little native sheep were banished to the beach. This didn't thwart a flock who'd survived for millennia. They became one of only a handful of animals in the whole world adapted to eat seaweed. Seaweed is very reluctant to release copper, so the sheep evolved and have become very efficient at extracting it. In just under 200 years of banishment, their unusual diet has fundamentally reshaped the way their bodies take up vital nutrients. They can now die if given grass to graze all year round. You might also wonder what they do for a drink. All this salty seaweed must make them very thirsty. Luckily, there are a few springs and freshwater ponds close enough to the island shore to keep the sheep in drinking water. They have even changed their behavior too. Instead of grazing in the day and chewing the cud at night like other sheep, the island breed have adapted to the rhythm of the tides. Low tides means grazing, high tide is time to rest and digest. They are an amazing example of fast-track evolution in the face of adversity. They became seaweed specialists in only 170 years of exclusion. And unlike their enemies, dogs, these guys prove that you can teach old sheep new tricks. If you happen to be an ancient island with a grand old stone wall.
Welcome back to Sheffield, and our apologies for the interruption to our evening at the Crucible in this second semi-final. We had a rather unexpected power issue. Nothing to do with not feeding the meter, I assure you. So we lost power, but Mark Allen did not. He took frame 3 to get his semi-final campaign underway. He's trailing 1 frame to 2 to Wu Yize. And the players have just returned from this hiatus now. This is frame 4. Allen is 27 points to 1 in front against Wu Yize in this one. It's the last before their official interval, anyway. And the commentary comes from Ken Doherty and Stephen Holworth. Hello again.
Yes, thanks, Hazel. just joined us, who he is, I was a little bit unlucky there, has to be said. Mark Allen's potted a good red there. But yeah, we was potted the black, went into the pack and unfortunately nicked the red into the middle pocket. Left the Mark Allen a chance.